All right. Say hi, Denise.
Wow. Oh, how
That's the
beautiful.
Mediterranean Sea. And it's winter right now, so it's pretty
is
cold, but it's pretty cold, but I'm going swimming.
No way. Are you really?
Yeah.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's great.
I am going to get right into it. After leaving your show, Songs de Paris, I was just so moved and inspired, and I just thought, I want you to share your story.
Absolutely. Look, Songs to Paris is the name of an evolving concert that I am continually writing and performing actually around the world. But it started with a seed of an idea, as every creative idea, and everything starts with a seed of an idea. But instead of just thinking, oh, that's a good idea, and just putting it in the collection of ideas that I never act on, which I'm sure everyone has got a collection of those, I was like, no, I'm actually going to do something about this. And what the idea was is that I knew that I wanted to spend a lot of time in Paris. And why? It's just a place that I've been really connected to. I don't need any science to prove that. I can just trust my intuition and my gut that it's a place that I'm connected to. I also have some some of my background. Both of my parents' side has a French background. So I booked a ticket to Paris for 1 month by myself, and I stayed in an Airbnb. And I literally just wandered the streets during the day and just took it all in. And I found myself feeling so creative and inspired and moved that I created music. But before I left, I knew that I was going to put on a show when I came back to Australia. And I knew that I was going to call the show Songs to Paris. And I knew there were going to be songs written in Paris, and I had no idea what they were going to be. But I started selling tickets to the show, and I had no songs written yet.
Beautiful. So what gave you that sort of confidence, or was it just a belief in yourself?
What's given me confidence to go and do, I mean, that's 2 years ago now, so much has happened since then, but I think it's creating every week. So I am the founder of iHeart Songwriting Club, and I created this club to help me follow through with my ideas rather than just having unfinished ideas. Yep. I wanted to actually finish them all, and that for me was writing songs every week. And so now the club, which is, over 600 songwriters from all around the world, are also doing the same thing. And we're really helping through that platform of iHeart Songwriting Club, through the community, helping people finish songs every single week. And some of those songs are shaping their career.
Wow.
So I think that that's what gave me the confidence to do that, is the trust that I could actually finish and follow through with ideas consistently. So I just thought, well, the worst that could happen is I say to everybody, oh, well, I didn't actually write all new songs. Here are some songs that I've already got. But that's not the case. I actually spent that month, and I remember on the 5th day going, oh shit, I actually have to write. And I started digging, and I think people can understand the struggle, and it's the struggle of creating. And there is a struggle. And I realized that I had to dig deep, and I'm so glad that I did dig deep, because I really discovered some new stuff down there. I discovered how to write songs in other languages, and I discovered how to play in styles that I'd never played before. I discovered that the place that I was at could change and inspire and influence the music that I would write. Wow. And so a month later, I had the show, and then 3 days before the show, I had this vision that I was going to put projected images to the songs, because they were all written really about places that I'd been, that I'd seen, and experiences that I'd had. And so I then put together a slideshow of my photos that I'd made, and that became the show, which has evolved for the last 2 years.
That's just
and here I am back in France.
You really wanted to go to Paris, and you've just created work so that you could continue to come back to Paris. I find that just so...
Well, I didn't know. I really had no idea. And I love that. I love going into something wholeheartedly and having no idea where the next step will be. I love that. It's actually one of the most funnest things to do. And I get that it would scare people, but I have my own back. I trust myself. I know that I will follow through, and I'll know that I'll dig deep if I have to. But, you know, I really thought that first show was it. I was like, so thanks so much for being a part of this experiment. Bye. And then people are like, no, we need it again. Like, some people couldn't even get tickets. It was sold out. And so I ended up putting on the show 6 weeks later, and it was sold out within 2 weeks. And I was like, there's something in this. And then I pitched the idea to one venue in Paris that I really wanted to play it at. And they said, yes, we would love it. We'll take your show. And then that was it. Then I went back to Paris and started writing more songs and played the show there, and then spent another 2 months in Paris, and then wrote more songs. And some of those songs have been released since. Wow. Then I went back and made a music video. You know, like, I have been back actually 5 times in the last 2 years.
What? This is just incredible. So incredible.
And I think, I think people think, like, especially from Australia, when you have to take the effort, time off work, the time to get in a plane and travel, the money to go and do that you're going to do one big adventure. I don't want to live like that. I don't want just one big adventure. My life is one big adventure. And I mean, you know, like, I fortunately since then have really learned to, it has been totally learning, but also keeping my work really flexible so that I can actually create and be working on the road. Like, I'm not a millionaire yet. And so I have to work, you know, so I do work, but I work on the road. And I have taken my teaching, which I've, as a musician, I've always taught. I've taken that from being something physical that I have to be physically at a location to online. And so I now do that as well.
You pretty much are living your dreams, your wildest creative dreams. And what would you say are 3 things that helped you achieve living those dreams?
Yeah, 3 things that helped me. I definitely put my hand on my heart and say writing a song every week. It's that's just changed my life. It's the following through with an idea, even if it's a shit idea, to finish it. That is mind-blowing.
Because that gives you confidence, right? If you follow through and finish something.
Yeah, and just knowing that you don't have this, you know, there's a lot of doubt and self-criticism that's generated around a half-finished something. Whereas if you finish it and go, wasn't that great? We can move on at least.
I think you did mention in the show something about, rather than worrying so much about writing the perfect song, just keep writing every day. I really love that, because it does help you continue to be more creative, because you keep practicing each day rather than keep being upset and beating yourself up or procrastinating because you want this perfect song.
Perfect. Absolutely. So writing every day, it's also like the writing the shit stuff. That's really important. And then I think it's also the consistency of doing it again and again and seeing the results of doing that, and then learning to trust that process, trusting that if I keep creating, I'm going to start creating some magic. So I believe that I have to keep creating, because that's where the magic happens.
Yep.
It's not in the, I'm going to just spend a whole year writing 5 awesome songs. I'm going to write 52 songs this year at a minimum. And at least 10 are going to be great. And I'm going to use them in some capacity. So that's been one of the things that have actually helped me to trust, back myself, go for it. There's so much learning that comes from that, you know, creating a practice around something. Okay, so what else? I actually think that kind of maybe is everything. I really do. Because there's so much in there. It's just like, just do it. Just do it. Stop talking yourself out of it. That comes from songwriting too. It's like, there's the song, there's the idea. I could go and put Netflix on, or I could just finish the idea. All right, finish the idea. And that teaches me all sorts of things. Like if I have an idea that today I want to go to Cannes for the day, instead of going, oh, I'll just sit on the beach, because I'm in Nice at the moment, because I can say those things. I literally just go, well, back to the idea. It's an idea that's come to me. There's some magic that I know that happens when I follow my ideas. Mm-hmm. I mean, the question is, what is it that you and the collective you are doing? What is the thing that you are regularly doing to help you believe in what it is that you want to be doing, or what the life you want to be living, or the practice you want to have? So if you're a writer, and if you're thinking about writing but not writing, then how can you believe that you can write? Mm-hmm. But if you're starting to write even 1 page every day or 3 pages every day, after a couple of months, I bet you're going to start to believe that you're a writer. And you're going to start to see the difference. But if you do it sporadically, if you go, oh, I'm just going to wait for I'm going to take a week off work and I'm just going to write for a week, and then you don't do it for another 6 months, you lose the belief. Mm-hmm. So it's about creating the practice in a regular way so that you actually, it becomes part of your life. Mm-hmm. Your life includes the activity of the thing that you want to be doing, and you don't doubt. So when I go back to Australia, and sometimes I'm there for maybe 4 months without having gone overseas, mm-hmm. and it's 4 months. Wow, that's a long time. I mean, I've traveled within Australia a lot in that time, and maybe gone to New Zealand, which is overseas, but it's oh, can I do this? I sort of forget a little bit, and I'm like, no, of course I can do this. I've done this before, If you don't do it regularly, you can forget. The fear comes back up, So the question back to you is rhetorical. What is it that you're doing every day to contribute towards the life you actually want to live?
Oh, on that note, thank you so much
for a pleasure.
Sharing your story and for your motivation and inspiration. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. And if anyone wants to check out my music, they can do so at fdvmusic.com, and send me an email through the link if you're inspired in some way, because, maybe that's what it takes for you to start doing that for yourself. Thanks, Trang, for all the work and inspiration that you're giving to women too, and to people.
Oh, thanks, Francesca.